What's up, guys, and welcome back for another EVE Online solo Null-Sec video. We finally have some job slots opened up, so as promised, I'm going to kind of walk through the invention process. We're going to start a couple of invention jobs, and I'm going to kind of explain the invention mechanic the best that I can if you don't have any experience with it right away. So, invention requires blueprint copies. Now, the first thing I do when I bring in a new BPO, a blueprint original, before I put it into actual mineral efficiency or time efficiency research, I will copy it, because the research level of the BPC does not matter in terms of invention. So it doesn't matter if it's a completely unresearched BPC or if it's a fully researched BPC. The outcome of the Tech 2 variant, if successful, will be solely based on the decryptors used, and we'll go into that in more detail. So what I did when we brought out the Blackbird BPO and the Badger BPO, we did a 10 run copy of each, which is just basically preparing that for invention, and then we immediately put the originals into normal research, because we'll use the originals to build the actual Badger and Blackbird that would go into building a Falcon, a Rook, or a Crane. So those BPOs aren't necessarily worthless once you get to this point. Now we're going to start first the Falcon invention, and so each invention, depending on what type of BPC you're trying to do, is going to have required skills, and those skills are essentially associated with the data cores that go in. Every invention requires a data core input. So this one requires electronic engineering, 8 of them, and then also Caldari Starship Engineering, 8 of those. And as you can see here, it's in here, and then over here we can actually go in here and hover and select whether we want Rook or we want Falcon. Now, invention is not a guaranteed process. Depending on the decryptor you use, your success probability will go up. With this optional input here, we have all the different decryptors here. I usually like using the optimized attainment decryptor or augmentation decryptor. So the attainment one will give us a 55.2 success probability per run, and then it'll also be a 3-2, so 3 for material efficiency and 2% for time efficiency, with 3 runs. Now, the reason I did 10 run BPC copies is because I want to basically produce potentially up to 10 of these Tech 2 blueprint copies for one job slot. Since I'm doing a lot of things with research, I don't want to necessarily dedicate 10 science job slots to potentially getting 10 different Tech 2 blueprints. So what we'll do here is we will go in here and we'll do job runs up to 10, and we're going to run it with this decryptor here. So we have a 55.2% chance of success, and this will take 10 days, 1 hour and 58 minutes to complete. Now, once this job completes, it doesn't matter if the run is successful or not. This BPC will be consumed completely, because we are doing 10 runs or 10 iterations of the invention on a 10 run copy. So for instance, if you take a 10 run copy and you do 1 iteration of invention on it, whether or not it's success or fails, regardless, you will return the original, you'll get returned the original BPC with 1 less run. So if you do a invention with a BPC that is 1 run, then that will be consumed essentially. So that's why we're essentially maximizing. We're trying to maximize the amount of potential Tech 2 BPCs we can get for a single job slot. You can run, I could have run more runs on this BPC, but I really just wanted to kind of get a copy out so we can kind of demonstrate this. Now for me, I'm essentially inventing these, the Crane BPC and the Falcon BPC, because I use the Crane for PI and I use the Falcon for Sino, but they're also really good things to sell potentially once manufactured. Doesn't mean you have to actually go all the way to the end product to make your make some ISK. So let's look at this in terms of what it costs. So this 1 run for invention process is going to cost us 6.9 million. in input requirements. I've already looked this Falcon BPC up at 3.2 on contract. It sells on average for about 29 to 30 million. So if you're successful, you can make a very, very good amount of ISK off of your investment. And so potentially the chances of us actually getting all 10 successful is very low, but we have the potential of making up upwards to 300 million for about a 60 million investment, or what comes to about 69 million investment. All right, with all that being said, let's go ahead and start this. Make sure we have Falcon selected. We're going to be using the optimized attainment decryptor, and it costs us about 800,000 to get this job started on 10 runs, about 10 days. Go ahead and start this job. Done. And then now the same thing for the Badger. The Badger, we're probably going to use the same optimized attainment here as well. Now the profit margins on the crane are not that great. I mean, you're looking at about the same, about 6.9 million going in, and at 3.2 BPC for the crane can be anywhere up to like 8 million or so. But we use these, so we make sure we have these on hand just in case we lose a ship, and we can kind of have them ready to go to produce if we need to. So we're going to start this one. Same thing. It's a lot cheaper to start the job on these. So we're going to go ahead and start that. That'll be 10 days as well. And what I'll do is whenever we get closer to those 10 days being complete, then I will go in here and kind of show you guys what the result is, so we can see what our success rate actually is. So we do need to start a couple more jobs for the remaining slots that we have. So we're going to be just kind of looking here and seeing what we can put in that's relevant to what we're doing right now. Since I'm actually focusing on salvaging right now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start the Salvager 1 research job. See how long it takes. 7 days to get that maxed out. So I think that'd be a good candidate there. And then probably, let's see, maybe a tractor beam, or we have one more slot, so we might go ahead and do the mobile tractor unit all the way up at 16 days, just to kind of get that moving quite a bit. We got to get tractor beam as well done, so we can make that as an input and then get the PI set up. But we do want to be making MTUs. That's another good way to make a fair amount of ISK sustainably in Null-Sec, because people are always either getting their MTUs destroyed, or they're losing them, or whatever the case may be. So that's really going to be one of our other big items that we'll be able to sell really easily. That's what it comes down to, is manufacturing stuff that you can offload at a consistent, sustainable rate, as opposed to things that are worth a lot, have a good margin, but are very difficult to offload. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Wanted to definitely touch on the invention process. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. Also, if you haven't already, use that referral link in the description for 1 million skill points on new or existing EVE Online accounts. And I'll see you guys later. Fly safe.